Hello. Drama lovers, welcome back to my channel. Today, Kyle wanders in and Diane sends Jack packing. Kyle reminds his mother that she works with Jack, so they can't avoid each other. Diane can be professional. Her son doesn't think it's that simple. She asks if Kyle's planning to fire her for getting out of line. He would never do that. Is there any way for her to get past what his father did? Diane says it's not right for him to pressure her. Kyle Y&R Devon blames Mariah. Lily is surprised to have been invited back to the Chancellor estate, where Devon fills her in on Mariah's lenient plea deal. He can't help but think she got off easy due to lawyers' tricks. Devon wants Mariah to get treatment, but he also wants her to receive more than a slap on the wrist. Clearly, she's not who she used to be and can't be trusted not to manipulate her doctors into thinking she's better. Devon Y&R Lily urges him to drop his anger. When she probes him for the details about the abduction, he becomes defensive. They thought Dom was just playing a game when he first disappeared. His sister urges him not to blame himself or Abby and to consider how traumatized they have been. Devon's not feeling traumatized. He's angry. And he doesn't blame himself. This is all Mariah's fault. Abby's conflicted at society. Daniel finds Abby taking stock behind the bar. She knows he's close to Tessa, so she asks if he knows what the plan for Mariah is once she's had treatment. He doesn't. After they discuss how well Dominic has coped, Abby admits she isn't doing so well. She doesn't know how she can put a stop to her fears and isn't confident that treatment is enough of a punishment for Mariah. Daniel tells her how much pain Mariah has been in. Her trauma is what drove her to do what she did. Abby understands that, but she can't stop worrying and wants Mariah held accountable. Daniel baby Y&R Holden warns Lily at Crimson Lights. Holden is surprised that Kane wants him to be a weapon against Victor. Ashby reminds him he's close to Claire. He needs him to get intel from her. This makes Holden uncomfortable, so his boss decides they have no more to discuss. As Ashby walks away, Holden trails after him. Kane says he'll have to find a different way to go after Victor. If something comes up that he can use Holden for, he'll let him know. Kane Holden Y&R Ashby freezes when he sees Lily walk in. Kane suggests they should cross the street whenever they see each other. She wants to talk, but he rejects her and walks out. Kane Lily Y&R Holden corners Lily before she can go. He tells her how frantic Kane became when she went missing and even sent him to find her. He's startled when she admits she was never in danger. Now everyone is angry with her. Jack beats himself up at the Abbott mansion. Tracy listens to Jack beat himself up about what he's done to drive Diane out. She says Billy told her what happened with Patty, and she's sure it wouldn't have happened if he hadn't been drugged. Jack wonders what it means that he didn't resist. In the past, he was a playboy, but he spent his life trying to step up and live up to John's example. Tracy assures him he's done a remarkable job, but he feels like a failure. Traco Jack Y&R the final scene still at Crimson Lights. Holden tells Lily that Kane has been pushed into a vindictive frame of mind. His fight against Victor will get big and ugly. He warns her not to get caught in the middle. Holdy Lily Y&R at the Abbott manse. Tracy tells Jack he can't let his relationship be derailed. He can't see a way to make things right. At the club, Diane admits to Kyle that she's angry at that woman and Victor, but mostly at Jack. Kyle can't give up on his parents. Diane is in tears and needs to call it a night. Kyle Diane Y&R at society. Abby admits to Devon she's not sold on Mariah merely spending time in a psych ward, but prison is a big jump. Devon declares that the judge and the DA haven't been serving the community. He'll make sure they don't get reelected, and then he'll see that justice is served. Mariah's punishment simply isn't good enough. The drama in The Young and the Restless is about to explode as the spotlight shifts to Las Vegas, where secrets, temptation, and emotional betrayal collide in one of the most intense storylines yet. At the center of it all is Chelsea Lawson, who finds herself pushed to the edge as her worst fears about Adam Newman begin to take shape right before her eyes. Chelsea has been trying to trust Adam. She has stood by him through his complicated past, his emotional struggles, and his constant battle to stay on the right path. But when Adam decides to return to Las Vegas, the very place where his darkest alter ego once thrived, alarm bells start ringing loudly in Chelsea's mind. This isn't just any trip. Adam's return to Vegas is tied to a dangerous mission involving the elusive and threatening Matt Clark. alongside his brother Nick. Adam is determined to track down this enemy and put an end to the chaos surrounding their family. However, to do that, Adam must reconnect with someone from his past, Riza Thompson, a woman who once held immense power over him. Riza is no ordinary acquaintance. She was deeply intertwined with Adam during his time living under the identity of Spider, a persona that represented his most reckless and morally ambiguous self. Back then, Riza was not only his ally but also someone who influenced his decisions and pulled him deeper into a world of manipulation, high-stakes gambling, and danger. So when Adam steps back into that world, Chelsea can't help but feel uneasy. She knows exactly what Vegas represents for him. Not just a location, but a version of himself he's been trying desperately to bury. At first, Adam insists he has everything under control. He reassures Chelsea that this is just a mission, nothing more. He claims that reconnecting with Riza is purely strategic, a way to gain information and get closer to Matt Clark. But even as he says the words, there's a part of him that seems unsettled. Because the truth is, being around Riza again stirs something inside Adam. When Adam finally comes face to face with Riza, the tension is immediate and electric. Their history is undeniable, lingering in every glance and every word. Riza doesn't make things easy for him either. Instead of welcoming him warmly, she tests him, questioning his motives, challenging his loyalty, and forcing him to prove that he can still play the game she once taught him. Their reunion quickly escalates into a dangerous dance of trust and deception. At one point, Riza even greets Adam with a gun, making it clear that she's not someone to be underestimated. But as the encounter continues, the dynamic shifts. Adam begins to lean into his old persona, slipping back into the role of Spider in order to gain Riza's confidence. It's a calculated move, but one that comes with serious risks. The more he plays the part, the more blurred the lines between his past and present become. And then comes the moment that changes everything. In a shocking twist, Riza pulls Adam into a kiss. What might have started as a tactic or even a test quickly turns into something much more complicated. Adam doesn't immediately pull away. Instead, he allows the moment to linger, fully aware that this is crossing a line. From Adam's perspective, it may all be part of the plan. He might justify it as necessary, just another step in gaining Riza's trust and moving closer to his goal. But from the outside, it looks very different. Because while Adam is busy playing his dangerous game in Vegas, Chelsea is back home, feeling the distance growing between them. Chelsea can sense that something isn't right. She hears bits and pieces about Adam's interactions with Riza, and each new detail adds to her growing anxiety. The thought of Adam slipping back into his old habits, into the version of himself she fears most, is almost too much to bear. Eventually, Chelsea reaches a breaking point. Instead of sitting back and waiting for answers, she decides to take matters into her own hands. Driven by a mix of fear, jealousy, and determination, Chelsea heads to Las Vegas, determined to see the truth for herself. And what she finds is more than she ever expected. Chelsea's arrival in Vegas sets the stage for a dramatic confrontation. She tracks down Adam, following the trail that leads straight to Riza. But nothing could have prepared her for what she's about to witness. In a moment that feels like a nightmare come to life, Chelsea walks in on Adam and Riza in a compromising situation. Whether it's another kiss, an intimate moment, or simply the undeniable chemistry between them, the impact is immediate and devastating. For Chelsea, it's not just about what she sees. It's about what it represents. It confirms every fear she's been trying to suppress. The confrontation that follows is explosive. Chelsea doesn't hold back. She demands answers, her emotions spilling over as she confronts both Adam and Riza. Her voice carries the weight of betrayal, heartbreak, and anger all at once. Adam tries to explain. He insists that everything is part of the mission, that he's only doing what's necessary to take down Matt Clark. He claims that nothing he's done with Riza means anything, that Chelsea is the one he truly cares about. But his words fall flat. Because from Chelsea's perspective, actions speak louder than intentions. And what she's seen is something she can't easily forget. Riza, on the other hand, isn't intimidated by Chelsea's presence. If anything, She seems amused by the situation. She knows the effect she has on Adam, and she's not afraid to use it to her advantage. Whether she genuinely wants Adam back or is simply playing her own game remains unclear. But either way, she's a formidable rival. The tension between the three of them reaches a boiling point. Chelsea demands that Adam choose between the life he's built with her and the past he keeps getting pulled back into. It's an impossible situation, one that forces Adam to confront the very question he's been avoiding. Who is he, really? Is he the man Chelsea believes in? The one striving to be better, to leave his past behind? Or is he still the same person who thrived in the chaos of Vegas, who could slip back into that world at any moment? As the confrontation unfolds, it becomes clear that this isn't just about one mistake or one moment of weakness. It's about trust, identity, and the struggle to break free from the past. Meanwhile, the stakes of the mission continue to rise. Nick's situation grows increasingly unstable, adding another layer of urgency to everything that's happening in Vegas. The plan to take down Matt Clark is hanging by a thread, and the conflict between Adam, Chelsea, and Riza threatens to derail it completely. In the midst of all this chaos, Adam finds himself torn in two directions. On one side is Chelsea, the woman who represents his hope for a better future, a life built on love, stability, and redemption. On the other side is Riza, the embodiment of his past, a world where rules don't apply and survival often means making morally questionable choices. The longer Adam stays in Vegas, the harder it becomes to keep those two worlds separate. And Chelsea knows it. Her decision to confront Adam isn't just about catching him in the act. It's about forcing him to face the truth. She refuses to stand by and watch him lose himself again. But whether Adam is willing or even able to choose the right path remains uncertain. As the dust begins to settle from their explosive showdown, the future of Adam and Chelsea's relationship hangs in the balance. Trust has been shaken, emotions have been exposed, and the scars of this confrontation won't heal overnight. One thing is clear, nothing will ever be the same again. The Vegas storyline marks a turning point for all involved. It's a test of loyalty, a battle between past and present, and a reminder that in Genoa City, love is never simple. And as the drama continues to unfold, fans are left wondering, was this just a temporary slip or the beginning of the end for Adam and Chelsea? Because in the world of the young and the restless, every choice comes with consequences, and some mistakes are impossible to undo. The aftermath of Chelsea's shocking discovery in Las Vegas doesn't calm things down. It ignites an even bigger storm. What was already a fragile relationship between Chelsea and Adam now teeters on the edge of complete collapse. In the moments following the confrontation, the silence between them becomes almost unbearable. Chelsea's eyes say everything her words struggle to express: pain, disbelief, and a deep sense of betrayal. She had given Adam chance after chance, believing that he could rise above his past. But standing there in that Vegas suite, watching him entangled once again with Riza, it feels like history is repeating itself. Adam, for once, seems genuinely shaken. He tries again to explain, but this time his confidence is gone. His usual ability to rationalize his actions falters under the weight of Chelsea's heartbreak. He insists that nothing about the situation was real, that every move he made was calculated, every moment with Riza part of a larger strategy. But even as he speaks, there's a flicker of doubt. Because deep down, Adam knows the truth isn't that simple. Riza wasn't just a means to an end. Being around her awakened something reckless inside him, something he thought he had buried for good. The thrill, the danger, the unpredictability, it all pulled him back in ways he didn't fully anticipate. Chelsea picks up on that hesitation immediately, and that's what hurts the most. If Adam had denied everything with certainty, maybe she could have clung to his words. But that moment of uncertainty confirms her worst fear. A part of him still belongs to that world and maybe even to Riza. Refusing to let herself be humiliated any further, Chelsea makes a bold decision. She walks away, not just from the room, not just from the argument, but from Adam. Her exit isn't loud or dramatic. It's quiet, controlled, and far more powerful. Without another word, she leaves him standing there, forcing him to face the consequences of his actions alone. And for the first time in a long while, Adam feels truly lost. Meanwhile, Riza watches the entire scene unfold with a calm, almost calculating expression. Once Chelsea is gone, she turns her attention back to Adam, but her tone shifts. Gone is the playful teasing and seductive charm. Instead, she becomes serious. Riza calls Adam out in a way few people ever dare to. She points out the obvious, that he's trying to live in two worlds at once, and it's tearing him apart. She challenges him to admit that part of him enjoys the chaos, that he's not as removed from his past as he claims to be. Adam initially resists, but Riza doesn't back down. She knows him too well. In fact, she might know him better than Chelsea ever could. And that realization unsettles Adam more than anything else. Because if Riza is right, then everything he's been trying to build, his redemption, his relationship, his sense of identity, might be built on shaky ground. Back in Genoa City, the ripple effects of the Vegas drama begin to spread. When Chelsea returns, she's not the same woman who left. There's a coldness to her now, a guarded edge that wasn't there before. She refuses to discuss what happened in detail, but it's clear that something inside her has shifted. Those close to her begin to notice. She becomes more independent, more focused on protecting herself rather than holding on to a relationship that constantly puts her at risk of getting hurt. While she still loves Adam, she's no longer willing to sacrifice her peace of mind for the sake of that love. And that change doesn't go unnoticed. Adam, on the other hand, remains in Vegas a little longer, determined to finish what he started. Despite the personal fallout, he knows that walking away from the mission now would only make things worse. But his focus isn't what it used to be. Where once he was sharp, strategic, and in control, now he's distracted, his thoughts constantly drifting back to Chelsea and the look on her face when she walked away. Even Nick begins to question him. Nick sees the cracks forming and doesn't hesitate to call Adam out. He warns him that he's playing a dangerous game, not just with their enemy, but with his own life. Nick makes it clear that if Adam doesn't get his priorities straight, he risks losing everything. And for once, Adam doesn't argue, because he knows Nick is right. As the situation with Matt Clark intensifies, the stakes grow even higher. The danger is no longer just emotional, it's physical. Every move Adam makes in Vegas carries real risk, and the tension begins to build toward a potentially explosive climax. Riza remains a key player in all of this, but her motives become increasingly unclear. At times, she seems to be helping Adam, providing him with the information he needs. At other moments, she appears to be manipulating him, pushing him further into a world he's been trying to escape. The line between ally and enemy becomes dangerously blurred. Eventually, Adam returns to Genoa City. But instead of relief, his return brings even more tension. His first instinct is to find Chelsea, to fix things, to explain himself, to somehow undo the damage. But Chelsea isn't ready to hear it. When they finally come face to face again, the conversation is nothing like what Adam hoped for. Chelsea doesn't yell. She doesn't cry. Instead, she's calm. Too calm. She tells Adam that she's tired. Tired of the lies, the excuses, the constant fear that he'll slip back into his old ways. She admits that she still loves him, but questions whether love is enough when trust keeps being broken. Adam tries to promise her that things will be different, that he's learned from this experience. But Chelsea stops him, because she's heard it all before. What follows is one of the most emotionally charged moments between them. Chelsea makes it clear that she needs space, not just physically, but emotionally. She can't continue being in a relationship where she feels like she's competing with Adam's past. And until he truly lets that past go, there's no future for them. This leaves Adam at a crossroads, unlike any he's faced before. For years, he's struggled with his identity, constantly shifting between who he was and who he wants to be. But now, the stakes are higher than ever. Because this time, it's not just about him. It's about losing the one person who believed in him when no one else would. As the storyline moves forward, several questions loom large. Will Adam finally break free from the grip of his past, or will he continue to be pulled back into it? Is Chelsea strong enough to walk away for good, Or will her love for Adam draw her back in despite everything? And what role will Riza continue to play in all of this? Is she truly done with Adam? Or is this just the beginning of a much deeper and more dangerous connection? One thing is certain, the Vegas showdown is far from over. It may have started with a single moment of betrayal, but its consequences will ripple through every relationship, every decision, and every future storyline. Because in Genoa City, the past never stays buried for long. And for Adam, the battle between who he was and who he wants to be is only just beginning.